Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Pioneer Masters. This is going to be the last draft that I'm recording of the Planeswalker bonus sheet, as that is swapping around on Christmas Day. I don't know if this is going to be uploaded before or after Christmas Day. If you haven't heard yet, I'm just doing a few uploads this week for the holiday season. I'm going to be spending my time after work with the family for the season instead of playing Magic and recording Magic for all of you. So, that whole spiel out of the way, I'm hoping we get to draft some sweet stuff from the Planeswalker bonus sheet today. So I'm just going to start right off the bat with Oath of Chandra. Try to get the Planeswalker bonus sheet the swan song it deserves, the send off it deserves. Well, I haven't been the biggest fan of the Planeswalker bonus sheet, if I'm being honest. So the send off it deserves for me is to just ignore it and not draft any of them. But this is our last opportunity to try to get a Planeswalker, and Oath of Chandra is some really efficient removal no matter what. 2 mana, deal 3 at sorcery speed. And if we get a Planeswalker, then we can do some extra damage with this card as well. So we'll start with the Oath of Chandra here. If we see any Planeswalkers, we will force them. But obviously I can't control that, and they are still all rares and mythics. So just because the Planeswalker bonus sheet is the bonus sheet for these first couple weeks of the format doesn't mean you're always going to get a Planeswalker. Pick 2, we've got no real good follow-up here. Nothing great in red to go with the Oath of Chandra. I think my favorite cards are the multicolored spells, Nyx Weaver for green-black self-mill, and Thunderclap Wyvern for blue-white flyers. I think those are both strong archetypes, and those are really strong cards for those decks. It's pretty awkward. Jessian Thief is the best follow-up for Oath of Chandra, going for some blue-red spells nonsense. Just cheap removal that clears things out of the way works really well with Jessian Thief, and that can be a win condition in and of itself if you have enough cheap interactions. So I think I'm going to go for the Jessian Thief here. I do like the blue-red deck, and I especially like Jessian Thief. I had like a blue-red-white deck with a Narset, and Jessian Thief ended up winning some games kind of by itself. If you just have that and then a bunch of cheap removal, you just kill all of your opponent's blockers and keep hitting them. It keeps you fueled and makes sure you keep drawing more removal spells to keep that path cleared. So it just keeps snowballing ahead and ahead. So pick 3. I can take Zephyr Winder to stay in that direction here, but there's also Ruinous Path, which I think is an excellent removal spell, especially during the Planeswalker bonus sheet. Being able to have some ways to actually target a Planeswalker itself is relevant. In almost every one of these drafts, you're going to play against at least one Planeswalker, and some of them are just going to absolutely crush you if you can't like directly destroy them. So I do like that Ruinous Path is one of the few removal spells that can actually target a Planeswalker itself, as like all of red and green's removal in the format just says target creature. All of white's removal in the format at common also just says target creature. So you do really have to be playing in black to be able to straight up destroy target Planeswalker, but Ruinous Path is one of the best ways to do it. Obnoxious's Cruelty is another one of the best removal spells in the format. Obviously, this one cannot hit Planeswalkers, but it exiles cards, which is relevant as well. There's a lot of graveyard synergies, particularly, of course, in Golgari, like we talked about, the green-black deck that self-mills, but plenty of other decks can get some value from cards in their graveyard, so -5/-5 in exile, really good deal, and the best card in the pack. Pick number 5. Still not seeing a lot of great red. We might get cut off red here, move towards blue-black control, but we're still not married to anything yet. I don't think Knight of the White Orchid is that strong. It's fine. Just gotta be deep into white. Unflinching Courage is pretty strong, but it's the 2 colors we haven't drafted a single card of yet, so I'm not that interested. Not really that interested in this whole pack. There are a lot of good graveyard mechanics in black. There are delve cards that exile cards from your graveyard to be cast for cheaper. There are cards that will pick up cards from your grave to recast later, cards that'll reanimate cards from your grave. So Undead Butler has played pretty consistently good for almost any black deck. So I think we can just roll with that, or Evolving Wilds here. One of the more flexible cards out of the pack, but I'm not very excited about this one. I'll just take the Evolving Wilds. Pick 6. Okay, I like Gearcrafter a lot. 3 mana for 2/1 and a 1/1 flyer. 2 creatures off of 1 spell is always going to be good. giving you kind of a 2-for-1 in that way. Some solid multicolored charms. It is really funny to see Azorius Charm at uncommon, but Selesnya Charm at common. Wonder what made that a thing, balancing the set around. But it is funny. But yeah, I mean, Gearcraft is great. Love me some creatures with great enter effects, and I love me some armies in a can. It's kind of both of those. Pick 7. Eidolon is horrible. Supernatural stamina is mediocre. Labyrinth Champion's pretty horrible. Super inefficient. There's just not a lot going on in this pack. Savage Punch, Brood Monitor for green decks. Sky Knight for blue-white is the strongest card in the pack, but really far away from blue-white. Guess I still just take it. Because I'm really just very disinterested in anything else there. Not super interested in any of this, but Slide Runner has been fine for me in my last red deck, and I do like our red cards quite a bit right now. I think Rakdos looking spicy. Pick 9. Nothing much. Catacomb Sifter is a 2/3 and a 1/1, and whenever your 1/1 dies and any of your other creatures die, you get a scry 1, so that feels like the best card. I already have 1 Evolving Wilds speculatively if I end up needing that. And now I have maybe a green-black path. Don't know that that's the best path to take, though, because there was a really good green-black uncommon in the next pack, and I doubt that wheels. Okay, if it wheels the whole way around the draft pod, then yes, that is a good path to take. And we get a nice, simple strategy here. No one is drafting green-black, so we can be the green-black self-mill player with great interaction. Some nice synergy pieces here at 3 mana. 3 different green-black spells, actually. And then just make sure to get like some good top-end creatures, and we'll have a really solid deck on our hands. I really don't want to end up playing Devour Flesh. And there's a good top-end creature. Gurmag Angler, sure. District Guide, solid fixing. I could play a Supernatural Path, but I'd rather not. Complete Miss. Audacity doesn't do much in green-black. And I don't really want a bunch of Delve cards because they all compete with each other. They're all exiling cards from your graveyard, so if you have duplicates in your hand, they get really bad. The second copy is super expensive. Could speculate on a Gruul Guildgate just in case we end up splashing red for removal or planeswalkers or anything powerful we get past. Or I could just take Audacity because my curve is... I mean, it's not a curve right now. It's just a bunch of 3-drops, but having a bunch of 3-drops means you can get pretty aggressive. So throwing an Audacity on one of those might be a thing. Go for like a Golgari aggro deck, weirdly, potentially. I would rather have another Gurmag Angler than Devour Flesh for sure. And I don't think Colony Ambush is good removal when you've got black removal spells like Cruelty and Ruinous Path at your disposal. That we can draft those really highly, like a Cruel Revival. This is actually really, really nice here. 5 mana, destroy a non-zombie, and pick up your Gurmag Angler from your grave, put it back in your hand. I believe this is a plant zombie too. Yep. So we have 2 zombies already. 3 zombies, because we could play 2 Gurmag Anglers to make the revival more consistent. Yeah, Cruel Revival is a solid removal spell if you can draft some zombies and have some in your grave. I don't remember what I took over Undead Butler, but that actually might be coming back to bite me here, because that'd be another solid card if we had multiples of this for the Cruel Revival. Because if you mill an Undead Butler and it's sitting in your grave, then picking it up with the Cruel Revival is fine. Don't love Priest of the Bloodright, but 5 mana for a 2/2 and a 5/5 flyer is a really good deal. It's just that the life loss is kind of scary. I mean, I suppose it's hard when there's like a really good synergy piece in the same pack, and Possessed Scab's a very strong splash in a Cruel Revival deck. Yeah, I'm gonna actually go for Undead Butler. It's huge synergy in green-black, and then there's the Possessed Scab. Super strong splash for the green-black deck that has Cruel Revival to pick it up from grave if we ever mill it to a Nyx Weaver or an Undead Butler or anything like that. Much like the Undead Butler, it exiles itself when it dies, but if it gets put into our graveyard any other way, it'll be good. Okay, I only have one blue card to potentially splash blue, so with how efficient Dreadbore is as removal, I think I would like to take that and have that competing with Scab as a different color to potentially splash, and we'll choose between the two. I'm also not that deep into green, actually. 5 green cards? Definitely black. I'm definitely green as well, but maybe green ends up being a splash, weirdly. I'm going to take Dreadbore. I don't think it'd be impossible. I mean, we've got Oath, Gearcrafter, and Dreadbore now. Even Slide Runner would be playable there. We could be like Rakdos splash green. That'd be pretty weird, but stranger things have happened. Pick 7. Fell Stingers, pretty solid. Really nice with Undead Butler. Yeah, I like that. It's also in our main color. We have infinite black spells. A bit less of everything else. Actually, pretty good fixing here for just splashing like a couple off-color cards, Evolving Wilds and District Guide already. Pick 8, another Possessed Scab. There's literally nothing else to take. The green cards are not going to be great in Golgari. I guess Conclave Naturalist could be in the right matchup, but sometimes just 5 mana 4/4 no text. That's a super bad rate. I'd just rather grab the Scab speculatively. This pack's pretty bad. If we go really aggressive in Rakdos, we can go Rimrock Knight. I guess the kind of nice thing here being so deep into black and having these 3 other options is that if I open any Planeswalker in pack 3, we can draft that and then go in that direction. Okay, I guess not literally any Planeswalker, like a Tameo would not work, a blue, white, red Planeswalker, but like any mono-colored Planeswalker. Anyways, I probably should have taken something better out of that pack, but I didn't care too much about those cards, so I talked too long and just clicked the first card I saw. All right, Valakut Awakening is actually fine. If we go red, Priest is fine for any black deck we play, whereas Scatter will be good in blue-black, but we're not locked in to be blue-black. I'd rather take Scatter than Read the Bones. I do not like this card very much. Scry 2, Draw 2 is technically pretty big, but 3 mana, don't impact the board and shoot yourself. There's just too many downsides to that card to make it great. Okay, we did get a Planeswalker, so goodbye blue. We're going to be green-black splash red, or red-black splash green. Either way, that splashes in the Xenagos for us, and Xenagos is a solid one. Get a 2/2 every single turn. Use those 2/2s to protect the Xenagos, and just keep making satyrs over and over and over and over again. All right, we actually did it. We opened up a Planeswalker. We'll take a Planeswalker and grab some fixing to go with it. Looks solid. We probably want to play green at the core because green gives us the district guide, which obviously helps a lot. And our best red spells are removal spells that we can just play later anyway. And they'll be fine. And then the Oath of Nissa actually helps splash in the Xenagos. That's pretty funny. Even if I don't hit a red source, I can just spend my mana for it freely. That said, Bloodtithe Harvester is really good, but the Harvester would be off of the splash towards the red, so we could never play that turn 2. Unless we splash the green instead. Man. There are options here. There's also Clear Shot. One of green's best removal spells. Thanks to the splash removal, though, we're doing pretty great on removal. I'm just going to go Oath of Nissa. It's too cute. It's too cute. And this is a fun... GG. This is a fine card up front in the first place if I don't hit Xenagos. Because it's still 1 mana, look at the top 3, put the best creature land into your hand. It's still... You could just run this over a land. And then play this as a tap land whenever you do it. Whisperwood Elemental, one of the best mythics in the set. This thing is bonkers good. We're going to take that for sure. Really tempted to take Gruul Guildgate. We can pull that out with District Guide, and it's good mana in the first place. But there's also Seed Guardian, which is insane with the self-mill that we have going on. Dreadbore, which is incredible interaction. God, all of the really good stuff just clumping up in this final pack. Can't get all 3 of these. Again, I have Evolving Wilds and District Guide. Now even Oath of Nissa is splashing at least Xenagos for us. Okay, definitely not Cavern Lampad. I really like Seed Guardian. I'm gonna hope our fixing's good enough to be able to just take that here. Even if you're not a self-mill deck, this is very easily going to be a 3/4 that dies into like a 3/3 or something. If you have no other creatures in grave, it dies and replaces itself with a 1/1, which is still okay. Here's another Nyx Weaver. That is a slam dunk insta pick over Evolving Wilds, which is okay fixing. Oh my god. I'm kind of happy I locked in on Golgari as the main two colors. Although I'm passing a lot of fixing lands for these Nyx Weavers because they'll be so good in this deck. But, you know, it is what it is. Voyaging Satyr mana rep? Oh yeah, I'm really low on 2-drops. We actually take that over an Angler or a Goreclaw, which are fine. I'm just so low on 2-mana stuff to do. If I took all those guild gates, the gatekeepers would start getting exciting. But if you think about it, if you want to cast this on turn 4 and kill something with it, you need half of your lands on board to be guild gates, which means you want half the lands in your deck to be gates on average to play this really efficiently. So, I mean, you need like 8+ gates. Not not the most consistent card for most decks. It's a zombie though, but we have no gates at all, so we're not going to draft it. Got the Blood Tithe Harvester all the way back around. Wow, we could have done anything in this color trio. Okay, I've still got Dreadbore, Cruelty, Path, Revival, and Oath of Chandra. 5 solid removal spells. I don't think we need Savage Punch, but I think it's better than Devour Flesh and Nessian Asp, and I don't think we want to play a 2-mana red creature. I will play an Experiment 1 for dang, sure. Just curves out and gets massive. Drag Mangler with all these Nyx Weavers can end up in our grave and get scavenged real easily. Okay, I'll take a Read the Bones here, but I don't think I'm even playing it. Another Return Centaur is pretty cute. But we've got a lot of playables here. Those are likely to be some of the first cuts. With triple Nyx Weaver, I don't think we need the ETB mill for. I'm just going to be milling every end step all the time, or every upkeep all the time. Okay, goodbye, Centaurs. No, not Seed Guardian. You're one of the best cards that we drafted. Halo Scarab's pretty bad, but we had a lot of self-mill from triple Nyx Weaver. Those could mill a lot of cards, and being able to just randomly exile that for a treasure token could be relevant here with our slightly iffy mana. Non-lump the Supernatural Stamina. And they only need like 2 more cuts. Alright, we've got the Oath of Nissa, so we can cut a land for that. Keep the green source count high for it. Maybe we can cut Savage Punch. We've got Oath, Dreadbore, Cruelty, Path, Cruel Revival. Maybe one of the Nyx Weavers. I want to mill my whole deck. I don't know, probably better like do Naturalists or something. I could see cutting like a Weaver or a Naturalist. Maybe even a land? Probably not. Yeah, we're a 3-color deck. We're already on 16. Oath can hit creatures too, so it's not strictly replacing a land. Yeah, I don't have the craziest graveyard synergies in the world for the triple Nyx Weaver, and I have a lot of 3-mana stuff going on. They can put Drag Manglers in the grave, which is good. They fill the grave for Seed Guardian, which is good. They fill the grave for Delve with Gurmag Angler, which is good. So there's like a few good things they can do, but nothing like inherently insane. I don't think I would mind not playing the full 3 of them. Yeah, maybe I should have looked over the packs that had Nyx Weaver 2 and 3. I just got so excited that they were all there. But there might have been something actually better for the deck. Like just another good removal spell, we'd play over that. By good, I mean like Ruinous Path or Cruelty, not Savage Punch. Obviously, Savage Punch is on the chopping block because it is a little inconsistent. You have to have a creature on board. It has to be solidly big. I think we're probably still going to end up playing it here, so we'll go Naturalist and Nyx Weaver down. Run it like this. 13 green cards, 14 black, 3 red. I'm running more green than black because green gives us Oath and District Guide. This looks like a very reasonable mana base to me. Can probably with District Guide and Evolving Wilds just play a single mountain though. Go 7/7 or 8/6. I think that either would be fine. I have Ruinous Path and Priest of the Bloodright and more black spells in general, it said, so we probably should be on 7/7. 7/7/1. As the mana base. Yeah, this looks pretty solid. All right. It's going to be a spicy way to end off the Pioneer Masters drafts with the Planeswalker bonus sheet. Of course, next week, after all of the Bloomborough Arena directs, we will have the spells bonus sheet for the next couple weeks. That's going to be okay. I don't mind that the Bloomborough Arena Direct is going to be taking up a bunch of the daily videos so that we won't be drafting the spells bonus sheet that much because, I mean, it kind of is what it is. It's just some spells, some instants and sorceries. But I'm real excited for the final bonus sheet for this set, the Devotion bonus sheet, a few weeks from now, where the Theros gods all come in and a lot of really restrictive monocolored cards. That's going to be really interesting to see because so many of the decks right now look kind of like this, but even more multicolored mushy. There's so many like 3, 4, 5 color multicolored mush decks right now that getting a bunch of cards that incentivize you to be closer towards specific colors, like more streamlined 2-color. Nobody's ever going to draft monocolor, I think. But having devotion cards makes you much more want just like 2 main colors in your deck and a bunch of mana symbols in those colors. So it'll be really cool. Hopefully that changes things up, but we'll see. This looks like a very Planeswalker bonus sheety deck, even if it only has one actual Planeswalker. It's got plenty of removal to kill Planeswalkers and a couple different oaths to make our Planeswalker even better, easier to cast, or ping our opponent when we play it. We'll see. Looks like a fun way to end off this bonus sheet, and we'll see how this deck plays out as we head into the gameplay. All right, here we are for game 1, which is probably a super clear mulligan or the boldest keep in the history of mankind. We're on a mono black hand, a bunch of multicolored cards here, one of which is a Xenagos, which needs red and green. But I have a single Halo Scarab and a Dream. Okay, I can't cast Halo Scarab for 0, but I did immediately draw a green source. Immediately rewarded. And I get to curve Butler to Dregmangler here, but I think it's better to play the Halo Scarab first for the chance of this getting into the graveyard to play the Xenagos. Uh-oh. We're against Boros. Great aggressive deck with a ton of combat tricks to trigger heroic cards. So sketchy matchup. Alright, guess who's got a treasure token for his Xenagos? Witch's Mark on the Gear Crafter. The Keening Apparition to destroy an enchantment. Can play an Undead Butler and get my treasure token. Then play Xenagos next turn. And get real annoying with a 2/2 Satyr each turn. That feels like the plan. Did mill into a District Guide and an Experiment 1 to pick up with Undead Butler. Stasis Snare, Exile Dregmangler, you got it. Probably pick up District Guide, right? Do I do it right now, though? No, I'd probably wait so I can defend my Planeswalker. This also makes Gurmag Angler easier to cast, potentially. Keeping the rest of the stuff in grave. Okay. Well, there's the red source for Dreadbore. Only 3 loyalties. Xenagos could very much die here, but this is just by far our best play, right? Can exile 3 cards from grave, so I can make this cost a black and 3. If I play the land and then Gurmag Angler, that's theoretically good blocks. You know, Evolving Wilds lets me do that as well. And then maybe I can Xenagos and Dreadbore in the same turn. Like, I really want to protect Xenagos. Black and 3, right? If I do this? Yeah, no treasure. Perfect. I mean, I guess at this point, since we Terramorphic into the mountain, it might be better to pick up Experiment 1 than District Guide. It's pretty close, because Experiment 1 with, like, no other creatures is kind of whatever. Okay. Gonna be a pretty protected Xenagos now. They had nothing to play there? Blockers for days? And just Xenagos to victory? I don't think I attack yet. I could probably attack with Angler. Oh, I forgot. Nyx Weaver is an enchantment creature. So Apparition can kill Nyx Weaver. Phalanx Leader, anytime they target that with a spell, they put a +1/+1 counter on the whole board. Okay, counter on the board. Pro Black. They have a haste spell too. No. Just get another counter, kill a 2/2. Okay, well, we're going to pick up a Nyx Weaver with an Undead Butler. And then we're going to Dreadbore a Phalanx Leader. No, I think I start jamming for 5 a turn. Can wrap this game up pretty quick. Just 2 more swings of 5. I am not going to double block against Heroic. There's too many spells they could have to eat both my creatures. Sure. I don't think there's anything worth Nyx Weaving yet. Alright, they're just going to concede. We've got too much gas left over after the Xenagos, and we are 1-0 heading into game 2. Alright, here we are for game 2. Once again, Xenagos in the opener. Ending that Planeswalker bonus sheet with an absolute bang here. Playing against Orzhov, they are on the play and curving out with a 1-drop into a 2-drop here. This is getting real concerning. And we do need a red source with this hand. We've got the Halo Scarab to get a treasure maybe, but we're going to focus on playing the ramp that we can for now towards Nyx Weaver Cruelty. Okay, they Silk Wrap the Satyr. We get a Silk Wrap out of the way at least. I can Cruelty this Oligarch. Which I think I'm just going to do... Well... No, Nyx Weaver holds it off. Let's play that. And that's going to fill our grave for this Gurmag Angler that we drew into now. So Gurmag Angler is what really changed the play here. Okay, now we can Cruelty the Mentor. Stop them from drawing extra cards. Just have Nyx Weaver keep us warm and cozy. They've got 1 card left. Tactician for a +1/+1 counter and 2 damage in. Sure, Nyx Weaver still holds all this off. And then Angler really does. Black and 2, so I need 4 of these. I only have creature recursion as far as I remember, so just keep the creature in there. Now we're just kind of chilling until we hit a red source, and then we're super winning. Like, we're pretty stable, having only played like 3 cards, which feels real good. Alright, let's do the thing. I do need to not, like, mill out, but can Nyx Weaver something back right now, I suppose. No, I'll be fine. If a Planeswalker entered, deal 2 to an opponent. Well, I guess it's Oath of Chandra is slightly better if I Oath of Chandra the turn before I Xenagos. So I'll set that up. Compulsory the Angler, you got it. Catacomb Sifter, still 14 cards left. Feels plentiful. Okay, that's spooky. I've got the Dreadbore, so that I just have to deal with the 1/1 double strike, but that is spooky for now. I just don't even attack. Alright. Actually, Cruel Revival feels pretty nice too. 11 cards left. Cruel Revival the Angler back. The mana would be pretty funny, but I can't get black mana out of it. I would have had to do that as the first thing I did this turn. Yeah, I should have probably gone for the mana here, actually. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yeah, Nyx Weaver can pick up anything. So I keep forgetting we actually do have Graveyard Recursion for anything because of Nyx Weaver. Cool, they're down to 9. What is the ultimate if I sit here and just make mana? Oh, exile the top 7? Okay, we're never ulting. So I don't have to worry about making mana unless I just really need mana. Okay. Here's another flyer. Angler my whole graveyard away? Nah. Keening Apparition can kill my Nyx Weaver. Hello, Whisperwood Elemental. I don't think I can kill them here. I can try. Pretty cute. I really want to stop milling, so I'm just gonna try, I think. I'm actually 1 mana off of Cruel Revivaling. Oof. Alright. They concede anyway. We have like a really commanding lead if I just stop milling myself. So we are 2-0 now, heading into game number 3. What is going on with these draws? I could very well just lose this game because I'm keeping a 2-lander with a really good 4 and 5 drop we're trying to hit. But I have that District Guide off of any land that guarantees the Xenagos. And that would hit land 4 on the way towards Whisperwood Elemental as well. This hand is insane. With a land draw. But can lose if it misses lands. Alright. Let's see, that's a missed land drop now. That's 2 missed land drops now. There we go. So we had to skip 2 turns to keep this hand. And we'll see if that ended up being worth it. Oh god. Hello, Gate Colossus. Hello, Oath of Nitha. Fellstinger's a pretty good blocker for the Gate Colossus, so I think I want to run out of Fellstinger and an Oath of Nissa here. It's actually Oath of Nissa first. See if that changes the line based on what I draw. I don't think so. I think I'm just taking a land. Fellstinging. I'll have to discard a card to hand size. Oh, but Halo Scarab's a good one to ditch. Theoretically. That's like if I theoretically ever have time to spend 2 mana on making a treasure. Which doesn't look like how things are playing out here. Oh shoot, I do need a second green we have not found. For Whisperwood Elemental. If they have removal for the Fellstinger, we're going to take a lot of damage this turn, and then I'm going to have to Cruel Revival the Gate Colossus instead of the Hornet Nest, which is pretty bad. Because the Gate Colossus can just come back from grave by playing a gate. So ideally, we get the Death Touch trick on it, and then they play the gate, put it on top. Next turn we Cruel Revival it. So they need multiple more gates to keep playing it here. Which if nothing else just buys us time. Sure, okay. Oath of Nissa does literally nothing. We've got the red for Xenagos. So natural's just 5 mana 4/4. 5 mana 4/4 is still good enough to keep us from playing Xenagos here. And I don't have double green for Whisperwood. So, I think we... Oh, I should have played Angler and Dreadbore, maybe. Because then I could shoot the Hornet's Nest and block the Naturalists. Instead of the other way around. Probably would have been better. Okay, Colossus back on top of their deck, so we'll have to deal with another one next turn. Voyaging Satyr, we don't have to deal with that. Okay, I've got the Cruelty Engrave I can pick up for the Nyx Weaver now, or with the Nyx Weaver now. Five cards I need to exile. Can they beat a 2/2 every turn? What does Whisperwood do when you sack it? So I know, yeah, you manifest every end step. Sack it. Face up non-token creatures you control manifest when they die this turn. Okay, interesting. Gross. Yeah, Gates Ablaze Hornet Nest combo is kind of unbeatable. Alright, well, you got me. We'll move on from that one there. I mean, we still can't even cast the Whisperwood Elemental. I have never beat Gates Ablaze Hornet Nest and probably will never beat it. Alright, here we are for game 4. We are 2-1 now. And it's going to be awkward, because we want double green and double black. But I need the red for the Dreadbore, so I'm gonna grab the red. And we'll just see what we hit between black and green here. Okay, so I've got the double black for the Ruinous Path. Now I just need that second green for Whisperwood Elemental later. The Jund Mirror match. Hello, Experiment 1. Yeah, I can Fell Stinger next turn. $100% cool with me. Okay, I definitely need to draw the cards here, trying to get the elemental down. There we go. The green sources are what I need. Okay, if our opponent plays nothing, just holds up a bunch of mana here, then I think we definitely hold off on the Whisperwood Elemental and play other must-be-dealt-with threats. Okay, I need one more than that. I miscounted. Tormented Hero, just a tapped 2/1. We see no removal from our opponent. Well, you know what that means. Whisperwood. Okay. Heart Piercer Manticore can't kill the elemental, but it can kill our face down. But then we'll just get more face downs. There's an Oath of Chandra for just really efficient removal as well. I could Ruinous Path and Awaken, but then I Awaken a tap 4/4 anyway. If I get one more mana, I can blow something up and get a untapped hasting threat. Alright, I don't think there's really any way they can win, because even if they have a board wipe, Whisperwood Elemental prevents that. The 0 gates ablaze? Tragic. Absolutely brutal. We are 3-1 heading into game number 5. Guess who's back? This is a super castable Xenagos hand. I don't even have to keep a super greedy hand like we did the first few games. Oh my god. Guess who else is back? Well, let's see if our opponent has their own insane nonsense here, or if this is going to be an absolute beatdown from the Dream Team. Alright. Really interesting stuff from our opponent. Hexproof and heroic stuff, so they're probably playing a lot of auras and the like here. I get the tap line out of the way to know I can Xenagos next turn, right? Do I? You know what? Could also like get the Catacomb Sifter mana, try to get Whisperwood next turn, maybe. There's a lot of things I can do here. That are all really good. But I think I just play one of my premium 3-drops. Perfect. We hit the land, so I get to play Whisperwood, and if they kill it, I'm up a card, because I get that manifested 2/2. And if they don't kill it, I just win the game, because it's just going to keep doing that turn over turn, and being busted. No blocks, let's go. We're down to 13. Surprised they didn't, like, Glade Cover plus District Guide. If I sack this, does it still become a copy? I'm not sure. It's kind of game-changing here. Well, I guess either way it's really bad for me, right? Okay, so now I need to find removal. Nyx Weaver is going to be our best way to do that. Filling the grave with removal and then picking it up. Any way to double spell here? No, we just grab a red source and Nyx Weaver. Have I drawn any? I've drawn 0 removal, so there's tons in the deck to find. Unless the face down is one of them, which it is not. Okay. 5 removal spells in those, well, 6 removal spells in those 25 cards, I think. Yeah, 6. Rogue's Passage is their lands? Come on. The unblockable, unflinching Courage lifelink. Our deck should have a really good matchup against Unflinching Courage because we have tons of removal that just blows up the creature no matter how big it is. But I will die instantly if I don't draw it. Okay, any of the 6 in the top 3, come on. They might have a Mizium skin up at this point, which would be frustrating. Yeah, they have some kind of instant. The only way to get rid of the Mizium skin, though... Wow, I don't have double black. The only way to get rid of the Mizium skin, though, would be to force them to use it, so I have to spend 2 removal spells either way. Alright. Go ahead and Mizium skin your Whisperwood Elemental. We did hit one of our 6, and only one of them, which is actually pretty nice. It means there's still 5 more to draw into later. And even just hitting the 1, I can cast it here, get it in my graveyard, and then Nyx Weaver it. So preserving all that other removal for later is nice, instead of just like milling 3 removal spells here or something. Alright, skin it up. Oh, they could just have the sack ability. Okay, they can't. No Mizium skin. And we are right back in the lead. Okay. Ooh, a priest? Oh, that's actually horrible to manifest. I could flip it up and then start losing 2 life a turn. I mean, it's not horrible. Anything you manifest is fine. It's just horrible to flip it up. We definitely don't want to flip that up. Okay, that's a 1,000,000 life. Hello, Cruel Revival. Do I got a zombie in there? I certainly do. I also got a Savage Punch. Okay. Xenagos. Satyr. Savage Punch. We're jamming. We're just bombing out here. Our opponent was doing like a real solid job. But our deck is just stupid bomby. Take it all. Alright. Draft great mythics and get wins. We are 4-1 now, heading into game number 6. Alright, we gotta find a black source soon, but we got 8 swamps, right? We have like 8 black, 8 green, 1 red. Yeah, I think it's 7/7 in Evolving Wilds. But Experiment 1 to start off, plus Oath of Chandra for removal is great. And there you go. The swamp has arrived. Right on time. We've had really good luck with the draws today. I kept some super greedy openers in like the first 3 games and only lost one of them. I don't think this opener was like super greedy, but it did have some risk to it for sure. We were far from guaranteed to hit that black source that soon. Dreadbore the Experiment 1. Fair enough. Just wait till I Nyx Weaver it back. No. Ruinous Path the Drug Mangler. Alright, they just keep playing a bunch of 1-for-1 removal. They will eventually die. 3 cards from grave, means this costs a black and 3. I can spend a black and 4 here. Just exile 2. Yeah, we'll do that. Fifth gate, gates ablaze. Well, let's see what kind of instant speed removal they have here. I mean, the only other play I have is to play a 1-2, so I think I can go for onboard lethal going for the scavenge here, but if they have instant speed removal, there's no way they don't. If they didn't have instant speed removal, they would have played just anything during their turn. Sorcery speed removal, a sorcery speed creature, anything like that. So we just hold the mana up so that I'm not drag mangling into an Obnexus's Cruelty. Like that. Okay, so deal 2. Then I can Satyr hold up the Nyx Weaver. If I had the mana to just mangle up the Satyr, I probably would do that there. But instead we'll hold up Nyx Weaver's ability. So sorcery speed removal's worse, like Gates Ablaze or something like that. Okay, there goes Voyaging Satyr. Gatekeepers is too big for Nyx Weaver, so I'm gonna have to drag Mangler onto it. It's also too big to Oath of Chandra. Whisperwood Elemental. Okay, I found a better plan. Oh, that's a zombie. Why you gotta be a zombie? And if I had the mana to pick up and immediately play the Whisperwood Elemental there, I certainly would, but I don't. Now I might as well pick it up in the end step. Unless they have like an Essence Scatter here. Gore Claw. Oath that, hit for 2. Let's just cast a Whisperwood Elemental this turn. Or that and an Oath of Nissa. Loxodon Smiter. That's nice with Goreclaw. Just beefy trample damage. Gatebreaker Ram. Speaking of beef, our opponent has the meats. Oh, I got no zombies in grave? That's kind of sad. Still definitely have to kill that. All right. Might have been better to just not attack and shoot the tapped Goreclaw. It probably was. I'm just getting really antsy and aggressive. Overly aggressive here. That is a lot of card draw. That could be really bad for me. Because I can find them the Gates Ablaze. Or the Gate Colossus. If they're in Magical Christmas Land and they opened all of them. I've never had the full trio. Guild Summit and Gate Colossus and Gates Ablaze and Gatebreaker Am. I've got nowhere close to all 4. And I've been in draft pods where I don't think anybody drafted a single gate. Okay, Gates Ablaze is actually no longer that horrendous for me. I should have checked what my face down was before I made my decisions there. I had a 5/5 to attack with. I should have just attacked the face down and then flipped it up. It would cost like all my mana, but still worth it. Hello? It costs 7 mana to flip up my face down, so if I Savage Punch, I can't flip up. Oh, I can by sacking the 1/1 actually. Alright, this is probably lethal. I mean, it's probably lethal without flipping up, and I'm just stupid. Yeah, no, this is exactsies. They block the 6, they block a 2, they take 7. GG from opponent. GG. Incredible Mythics carry us again. That is what? 6-1 or something? Despite having incredible Mythics, I gotta say, I was still scared there. Our opponent had a pretty strong deck. But never saw Gates Ablaze or Gate Colossus from them. Which feels nice. Dodged some bullets there for sure. Yeah, it's just like incredible removal and then some of the good Gates cards. Sure, the rest were in there somewhere. All that they could manage to pick up. Again, I have drafted the Gates deck a few times. Never quite seems to be able to completely stack up and have like all of the different pieces, but it's still a really strong archetype. I think I had like a double Gates Ablaze, 1 Gate Colossus deck was probably the best one I had. Like a double, or sorry, it was double Gatebreaker Ram and a Gates Colossus. I very, very rarely have ever gone the Gates Ablaze itself, which I think is the best Gate card. One of the more important ones for sure. Alright, here we are again, taking greedy, strange mana hands. But I don't even know if this is that greedy mana-wise. Because you could just ditch this Oath of Chandra and then pretend this is just a 2-lander and a 2-color deck. And it is not that greedy to keep 2-landers. Happens pretty often. Alright, Halo Scarab forced them to use removal to get their Rimrock Knight through it. We did hit the land. Just play the long game here while they're stuck on mana, play the Mangler and pass? Sure. All we see from our opponent so far is just red. So we got to imagine aggro. If we can just survive a long game, we should be in a really good position. So let's focus on that. Let's soak up all the damage, take all the trades we can get. Still mono red, interesting. Need to hit my land for turn, so we are sacking a Stinger to itself. Okay, we're pulling a Wild Slash out of there. Two, 1 haste. Drop our Satyr, get our treasure token, take the damage for now. I'd rather not cash in this treasure token to Oath of Chandra Bushwhacker, but probably will. I would rather do that than Cruelty this Bushwhacker. especially when they play green as their second color. We're going to need the cruelty for whatever big green creature they have. It's a 1/1, but they could have a combat trick in hand for it to make it much bigger. Get a 4th card engraved. That means Angler's 3 mana total. If I cash in my treasure token, I can cruelty plus Angler, which feels pretty bad. I don't want to cash in the treasure here. I don't want to just priest. Okay. Cheaty Face Arena says probably no combat tricks in their hand because it goes straight to main phase 2. So I think I'm just gonna rip the hero out of here. Black and 3. Exile the whole grave. Sorry, Drug Mangler value. I think that's fine. Okay. Slide Runner, Glade Cover Scout. All right. 1 Angler and we're in a good position. Playing off the top, a 2/2 and a 5/5 locks this stuff down. And there's the concession from our opponent. That is 6-1 now. We have made it all the way to the final boss with our final Pioneer Masters Planeswalker bonus sheet draft. Gonna be a super sweet one. Sweet send-off for this bonus sheet. We are heading into round number 8, the final boss with 2 rounds in the chamber, to see if we can get a 7-win run for our final Planeswalker bonus sheet draft. Ooh, I am shivering so much I cannot speak anymore. I'm gonna go turn the heat up. All right, here we are for the potential final boss here, what could be the final game of Magic, with a great opening hand. None of our red cards or our red sources. We're just a pretty straight up Golgari mid-range deck here, but that's fine. Experiment 1 into Dread Mangler is a solid start. Green-white, heroic, auras, all that stuff. Pretty scary start from our opponent. Immediately a 3/5 Laguna Band Trailblazer, and we might just die for being on the draw instead of on the play, because if we're on the play, then we play land 3 and cruelty that Trailblazer here, but because we're on the draw, they can target it again, get a 6th counter on it before we can give it -5/-5 potentially. Do they have the way to do it? Let's see. No. Alright. They do draw a card off this Audacity, but we get the 3/5 off the board in our last opportunity to do so, outside of trying to block with a Death Toucher. Uh-oh. There's their own Experiment 1, and immediately a 4/4 to go with it. Very big board over there. Take the 4, start loading up the grave to make Garmog Angler efficient enough to cast a little early here. Syndicate Messenger, sure I can bounce off that with Nyx Weaver. I guess the fact that it evolves the experiment's real bad. Yeah, massive Experiment 1 from our opponent. Scarab is not awful here. Sack it towards keeping my Death Toucher on board and drawing cards in the same turn. Theoretically good cards, but casting them is going to be difficult. Our opponent's playing off the top here. They send in the squad. Take 3, trade into the 4/4 and bounce. I milled my one mountain, so I will have one treasure this game. One castable red spell. Way more than enough cards in grave. Okay, I can Nyx Weaver back a mountain actually later. That is incredibly relevant. So keep the mountain and the Halo Scarab in there. So 6 cards I can exile. So I can Dreg Mangler and Gurmag Angler here. Alright, we're stable. There's Oath of Nissa. Immediately Xenagos. Let's go. Come on. I mean, it's better to draw one of these than to not draw a card, I guess. But that's sad. Probably start jamming with an Angler. And they concede? They're just flooding out, watching me get more and more stable, and they're over it. That is a 7-win run for this final draft of the Planeswalker bonus sheet version of Pioneer Masters. We got to draft multiple cards from the Planeswalker bonus sheet, not just the Xenagos, which is the most clear Planeswalker card, but these Oaths, the Oath of Chandra and Oath of Nissa, also Planeswalker bonus sheet cards, and both cards played pretty dang well today, especially Oath of Chandra, which always plays well. But Oath of Nissa was solid as well. We drew like a Catacomb Sifter off of that one time. That was pretty excellent. And just playing that over the 17th land was pretty decent. We never got to do the thing where we're like, we needed Oath of Nissa to have red mana for Xenagos. That's why I was like so excited about like, come on, let's draw Xenagos, because I don't have a red source. So Oathing into Xenagos would be hilarious. But it was still cool that that's a potential aspect of the deck. Now, we also had Whisperwood Elemental, which I think is just in the main set and is just completely broken. That won a lot of games, and I'm sure we'll see more of them in the future of this format. But yeah, nice to give the bonus sheet a bit of a send-off here, playing some cards unique to this bonus sheet that will not be in this format starting the day this video gets uploaded, I think, or at least sometime around then. So while that may end the Pioneer Masters Planeswalker bonus sheet, there's still going to be some great drafts coming to us, some great draft and sealed coming to Arena in the near future. We have Bloomburrow's Arena Direct coming this weekend. That is the event where you get to play and compete to win physical boxes of Bloomburrow mailed directly to you. So that is going to be super sweet. We'll be playing a lot of that over the weekend and into next week. The videos will still keep coming out, even though the event is only on the weekend. And then we have the Spells bonus sheet coming to Pioneer Masters. And after that is the really cool one that I'm super excited for, and that I think starts in like 2025. Still, fingers crossed, still waiting for that one. The Devotion bonus sheet with the Theros gods and everything. So that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, I hope you are all having a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you all again next weekend. But other than that, I hope you are all having a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you all again this weekend for the Bloomborough Arena Direct.